Hello, I'm Forrest, and I've got a problem. I got a big problem. I got a problem with the goddamn internet. I'm still in the desert. I'm leaving shortly, and I almost lost the recording, and I'm again doing it on a Monday. I'm not going to talk a lot up front here. I've got another problem. I'm not doing that. I think there's at least one phone call in there. I'll read that next week. Thanks you to everybody. Please tell other people to listen to it. If you're enjoying the podcast, please comment, like, subscribe, all that stuff. You know the drill. Forrestshaw.net. Go there. There's a donation button. There's my shows. Yada, yada, yada. I'm just going to go straight to our guest. I don't even have my hat. You'll see in a second if you're watching on YouTube. I need a haircut desperately. I'll have a hat in about 2 seconds. My guest today is Al Jackson. He was the first guest on the podcast. He's back again because I had all these guests flake out, but we are crushing it after this. I finally got a couple doctors on. Got a guest next week that I've been trying to get for a while. And so everything is going good. And I'll be back in LA where there's actual internet, or at least staying at a place where there's actual internet that works. So I can do all sorts of cool stuff. I'm going to change up not a lot. I'm just going to format it a little bit better. But anyways, I'm going to stop talking. Our guest today is Al Jackson. I'm trying to fix my hair. Look like an idiot. Thank you guys for listening. Love you. All right. I'm here with Al Jackson. I gave your credits last time. I didn't even pull him up. That's how lazy I am. I don't know. He's done stuff.
This is going well.
One second. What do you want me to say? I didn't even ask you.
You've known me for 25 years. Dude, what do you want? Live at Gotham.
Live at Gotham. Was that your peak?
Yeah, probably was.
No, I mean, you did a half hour on Comedy Central.
Yeah. And look where that got me, on my girlfriend's couch, trying to figure out lights.
Okay, Al Jackson, just look him up. Al, how do you find? I can't even pull this thing up here.
Just look me up on Al Jackson IG. You're like a MAGA dad that's trying to convert, and like his daughter opened his eyes, but you're only used to I cannot get out of this chat room that just says Hispanics. Why? I don't know how to do any other thing than be in my echo chamber.
You know what
What's Al Jackson IG? Look, I'm everywhere and nowhere.
We were talking, and I'm like, let's just start the podcast. And I was like, not.
That's what somebody that has 4 people working for them, like 4 interns scrambling, like we're not even plugged in yet. Like that's what you can't just start the pod. The only thing you've done is have a gigantic cat staring at me like, yeah, I just pulled my dick out. What? Like that's a very frat bro stare that cat has.
Okay, well, there's nothing more frat bro than the jumpsuit you're wearing right now, and your whatever. What is that? An MC Escher pillow? I don't know what's going on there, but
I've been trying to just rearrange the pillows like a grandma, so their kid doesn't know they're a swinger in the villages. So yes, this is how we do.
Well, Al's our first repeat guest, and I forced him to be on today, and he just moved, and I don't know if you remember from the first episode, if you look at the clips, he was in a much greener, nicer setup, and he's nice enough to do this before he set up his podcast today. He's just there playing with his lights earlier. So
what if this was my final setup and you just shit on it? You were just like, oh, he's gonna do better. And I was like, this is
center yourself with the camera. Let's just start with that.
No.
Then I'm like later.
Yeah, I like half my stuff is at the other studio. So this is like the kind of setup you would have once the plague is hit and the aliens have landed, and like you just have the resistance. Every time that happens, they always find like a radio studio where they can still like hear I'm in Alaska. There's 10 of us. Like, where do you find these like makeshift resistance studios? That's all it's going to be, is a bunch of unused pod studios with neon lights behind them as we plan the resistance.
Resistant, dude. If something goes down, nuclear, like war or some sort of zombie, like I'm not sticking around. What am I gonna? Well, who can? Like that's the most ego-driven thing ever. It's like I got to stay here to repopulate. No, it's over.
Yeah, and you'd be around nothing but people that also have the ego to repopulate. My girlfriend and I have already made the decision, like any kind of zombie, we're walking right towards them. I'm not fighting. I'm not eating baby food for 6 months out of vending machines so we can keep fighting for what? So we can reelect Trump again? I'm out.
Well, I usually start by asking the guest, hey, what's your problem? But we've already done that. But you have any new problems?
No, I've had this theory that I've been working on. I'll tell you what my latest problem has been. Obviously I've struggled with ADHD a lot in my life, but then I got Adderall and that changed everything. We talked about how I was able to make the change and then started being able to read, and I wrote a script and made videos and made music and all that kind of stuff. But I lost my wallet, dog, right before I just did a 8-city run with Frank Caliendo, shout out. And we were supposed to go to Toledo. It was supposed to be Toledo, Pittsburgh, Philly. No, Pittsburgh 2 nights, Philly, DC 2 nights, and then I don't know, some other city in there. And I'm about to leave the house to go to to go to Toledo for the first leg of the run. And I'm walking. I was so like on time that I was having those, should I go to the airport an hour early and just chill in the lounge? Like when you're cocky on time. And so I can't find my wallet. I'm like, oh, this is weird. And I still had 3 hours to play with. Hours start ticking by. I can't find it. I'm in between two houses. Long story short, I end up having to just grab my passports. Now, mind you, I have to rent a car with now no driver's license, no credit card. I just go to the airport, but I had wasted so much time looking for my wallet, missed my plane. So I came home. I was like, well, I got a day to now find this dumb wallet. The day passes. Don't find it again. Go to the airport. And I'm like, let me just get there. Because I know if I don't make the trip to Pittsburgh, I'm going to miss the whole run. So I go to Cleveland because they only let you go to the city that you originally intended to go to. And dude, I'm stuck. I'm in another city. I look up Avis. You can't rent a car without a license or credit cards. They frown on both those things. They frown on either of those things, much less both. And so my girl's like, what about an Uber? So dude, I ended up taking an Uber from Cleveland, Ohio to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And I got there. The show was at 7:00. I get out of the Uber at 7:04 p.m. Make the show, but just traveling with dude, I had to stay in like a crack, like a real life meth den. People throw that shit around, but there's only a few places that let you stay there with like your good word and like $100 cash. And
Frank couldn't help you once you saw him.
Yeah. Frank could help me on some, but like I told him I was going to get my hotels, and like he would have done it, but like when you're running a tour, like he's budgeting for everything, and I didn't want to get on tour and like go against my word and be like, hey, I actually need 7 hotels. So I'm very old school. One night he got me on some nights that I didn't ask for just out of the goodness of his heart. But like I kind of played it off like, oh, I'm fine. I really didn't tell him I was not fine. And so, I feel like it's I don't know. I hated myself so much. I was like, you deserve to stay here. I stayed in a motel that had just the key with it's just the regular key with just the triangular keychain on it, like that you would see in like No Country for Old Men. Yeah, I was in like one of those motels. And so I finally make it. My girl sends me a pic. She's like, found your wallet. So she meets me in Atlanta because my daughter was graduating. Good things. Shout out. I can't even call her baby Bree, but I will anyway.
All right, before you go on with this, before you keep going on, there's a couple of things. The wallet thing, the key thing first. You just jogged my memory. One time I went to New York City, did gigs in New York with Jim Jeffries, and he was a member at Soho House in LA, and he was like, hey, let's try staying at the Soho House in New York. By let's try, I mean, he's paying for my room, and Amos who I was with.
What were you going to say? I'm against that.
Yeah, I was like, let's stay in a fancy place. And The rooms were massive. They were massive rooms with all wood flooring. They had like a
What do you
tub.
think it costs to stay there?
A lot. I don't know, but I think if you're a member, it's reduced or something. But the rooms are nice. Everything's fine, but it's such a snotty place. They had keys. They had metal keys with on a key thing, but not just a triangular plastic thing. Like this heavy metal, might have weighed like half a pound or so. It was heavy. And I'm
Like you would have like an old sheriff would have when there was just one jail cell.
Yeah, or like at a bathroom at a gas station or some shit. Like almost like don't lose that, But it wasn't that big. It was just, And I'm like, it's New York City. Nobody. I don't have a purse. I'm not putting this in my pocket, But it had the room number on and stuff, and that was like. So I just took the key off the little ring, and that's how I carried it around to get in. And when you walk back in, you're supposed to hold up the key, because I'm not a member. I'm like, I took it off. It's too heavy, and I would have to like show my ID every time to get it. I fucking hated staying there, dude. If you went on the roof, you're not allowed to bring your cell phone. I didn't know that the first time, like by the bar area,
What's happening? Because there's celebrities up there?
I don't know, I guess, but they're like, start. I'm like, okay. I remember just going up in the elevator with all these like 20-year-olds that were so excited to be going to the roof, and I'm just going to like floor 4 to my, my room, and they're like, have you been here before? I'm like, I've been here for 3 days. And they're like, it's awesome, right? I'm like, this place sucks. I was just like shitting on it. I would get out of the elevator, and by the way, there's always a guy on his laptop in the hallway for whatever reason. I don't know why. And then I would just go to my room with a stupid key. But that's just drama. But
by the way, I do want to say before we move on that you being on that elevator, and I've been on that elevator before with those girls, not those girls, but those girls, and they just remind you that we are people that cannot love.
Yeah.
Because you just look and you're just like, I wish for one day I could feel the excitement that you do right now. And we've achieved most of our dreams except for the financial ones. Outside of that, I've achieved everything I've wanted to achieve. And everything is still not, I'm just like, damn, I don't know. I wish I could feel that joy that those girls are like, we're going to go on a rooftop and Javier Bardem is going to be looking out and he's going to say, if only I had a young lady to enjoy this view with, and he's going to put his arm around me. And that's good. Like, they just like all their hopes on that elevator.
You still can out. What you got to do is you got to meet me on Freaky Friday at the fountain. We'll piss into the fountain at midnight and cross streams. And then you say, I wish I might be a hot 22-year-old blonde.
But what if we do it and we just switch over to each other's shitty lives and it's not an upgrade? It's just the other one.
I'm texting you. I'm like, how much lotion do you put on? Seriously.
Yeah. Is cocoa butter a necessity when I choose my lotions?
By the way, I've been out in the desert for weeks now, and it's real out here, dude. I've been putting almond oil on. That's the trick out here.
What is that? That sounds like something that's in Exhibit A of the Puffy trial.
It might be. What's funny is I'm staying at my friend's house and I go in the bathroom and he has all sorts of oils, including baby oil. And I'm like, what oil in here? And I wrote to him, I'm like, man, I've been putting lotion on my legs and my arms. I don't do that normally every day. And I've been doing it twice a day. And he goes, oh, there's almond oil in the bathroom. Use it. And it just moisturized my skin and I didn't have to like do it constantly. I was like, all right, good. So the wallet thing, man, it's funny that you mentioned that because I've traveled all over the world and there's been times where I've lost my wallet lost or misplaced it. And there's been times where I haven't even had any money. So I might as well not have a wallet. So yeah, I have traveled with a lot out having, I've been in that scenario, but it's been like self-inflicted. Sometimes like, not like obviously yours is you lost it, you misplaced it or whatever. But mine was just like, well, I guess I'm going to Canada with no money. Just get on this plane here.
They're like, do you have anything to exchange your like good tidings?
Yeah, but I'm telling you because of gambling. That's why I didn't have money. So I mean, not to just tie it in because this is an addiction podcast, but it's like I've had times like where like I checked into a hotel. I had like a passport, but didn't have my like license or wallet. because I've probably lost my wallet conservatively 20 to 30 times in my life. Like lost it. Sometimes I
And never got it back.
Yeah, I think it has to do with something the way I value money and the way I look at money, because I look at money like as soon as I get money, I feel like I need to get rid of it. So I'll pay off debts, I'll pay bills, whatever, and then I feel like I need to spend it. I don't value money. It's all part of this whole fucked up way that I look at money, I think, with gambling. But there's been so many times when I've just like, it's just been gone, you know? Or I have had it, but it might as well be gone because everything in there is useless. All these cards don't work. There's no money in here. All these credit cards are maxed. This checking account negative, you know?
Yeah. Oh, been there. You know what there should be is an app where you can take all of your credit cards and just take the balance and combine them into one card and be like, if I make it, because like some will have like $4 on them. Like one account will have like 9, but it's not enough to withdraw. But if you combine them all, it's $51, and you can do something with that.
Here's a dirtbag hack for you if you want to know. A lot of gas stations, when they use credit cards, will only charge you $1 when you first go in there. So if you have a couple dollars left on a credit card, run it, fill the tank, overdraft the credit card, get a charge later, then get a late fee, and boom, you got a tank of gas for $240. You'll thank me later.
That's a good hack, because, and you know what? Honestly, later doesn't mean anything when you decide to live your life an hour at a time.
And then you can be at the bar and be like, these goddamn gas prices, am I right? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Where I live, it's $50 a gallon.
Yeah, get some food and shit while you're on. Yeah, hell yeah.
Nah, it only works in the pump, dude. Don't.
Oh, it only works at the pump. Okay, good to know. So you're not don't want to be embarrassed.
But I was talking about just living by the seat of your pants. Like you had to do that for what, 8 days? Like without?
For 8 days. When I say, because you know what it is, it's the anxiety of having, because I had cash because I was selling t-shirts. So I had cash, but that's the other thing that you don't realize is cash is going away. And like any place is slightly fancier than a gas station or a TGI Fridays, it's a wrap. You're not using your cash at a like, because that's another thing. I was in DC, and I was staying with my girlfriend's friend who was nice enough to put me up for 3 days while we were there. She lives in Arlington, and she was like, "Oh, she knew I had no money." It was like my girlfriend had to tell her, like, she was sending her stepson to come stay with her for a few days to dry out or something. Yeah. So she was like, she knew I had no money, but I had cash. So I was like, just my Ohio pride was like, well, I'm not a dirtbag. Let me at least get the ice cream. So I go to get this ice cream, and the guy's like, oh, we don't take cash here. I'm like, oh, do you? You don't take cash? Yeah. Fucker. You guys have ice here, like ice and sugar and milk. Like, stop acting like this is like some technological advancement you're working with here.
Or they won't take $50 bill or $100 bill. I was at Jamba Juice like a couple months ago, and I went to pay with $100. I think it was like $20 or whatever. And he goes, yeah, and he pointed at the sign that I didn't see. It was like in a corner. And I go, okay, well, this is all I brought with me. I would walk there, and I just had cash, And he's like, we don't take cash anymore. And I was like, but look, Australia has a movement to get rid of cash. They're trying to do that. And when I was there last time, there was a protest in the park across from this museum I was going in, and they were protesting people that pro cash. They wanted to keep cash,
Yeah.
But honestly, a lot of the addiction stuff is cash based. It's funny too, like buying drugs. Like obviously bar, you can use a card and stuff like that, but no one takes credit cards for Coke. Maybe they do now. I haven't bought Coke in, I don't know, a long time. Maybe people are using our Cash App for that, or a Square.
I think they do buy drugs on the dark web. I'm such a old man, I wouldn't even know how to get on there. But like, you can buy like Molly and stuff, I thought, off the dark web with crypto and stuff.
Yeah, but you got to get it delivered. Like Like, that's somebody planning out their drugs. Like, normally it's like, hey, you want to do ecstasy tonight? You're not like, it'll be here in 4 days. Express shipping.
Sit tight. Yeah. I mean, I think the cash issue for me, and I think because I always look at it I think it's more of it's the same thing I saw when I worked for the cruise lines for those years is, when you get on, there's no cash on board the cruise ship. They just give you a card. And what they want you to do, gamble, but also the psychology of the plastic is it's not like, oh, I'm going to buy this guy I just met Forrest a drink. Let me peel off a 20 so I can get him a drink out of a tiki hut head.
How do you gamble in the casinos on the cruise? I've never been on a cruise ship. So how do you gamble on gambling is cash based.
I think I don't know. I think you just tell them that, like, you just put your card in, almost like you would like you would have money on you have money on a card.
Yeah, but like, if you go to a casino, you can't gamble unless you give them cash. The only other way you can gamble is if you take a cash advance off of a credit card, but it only can be the cash level. Like, if you have a card with a $5,000 balance or credit limit, and it has $2,000 in cash, you can only get up to $2,000 in advance. Or if you're really rich, you get a marker. They call it, because you've got approved for credit. Like, think about it. Think about it. Nobody takes credit for They're not like, I'll get you back later. They're like, I mean, they do. They do. That's what a marker is. But a marker is given to people that are like, have serious financial, you have to show your wealth and stuff to them before they give it to you.
I think what they probably do is, like, let's say you have $2,000 on a card. You go in and you go, I want to gamble $500, and they give you $500 in chips. That's what I'm assuming. So then you can.
Because that was my point about cash. Is like an addiction. It's like drugs, gambling. It's all like there's a lot of it fuels a lot of stuff. Like, it's a cash flow.
Well, my thing, and really quickly before we move on, is I think a lot of it is like, as we move into a tips-based economy, where a lot of these companies are like, hey, can you do me a favor and pay our employees too? Thank you.
Yeah.
When I was at the ice cream shop, when my friend who had to pay for me because I couldn't use my cash, what do? They flip that screen around. Do you want to tip 20, 22, or 25? So it's like, back in the day when you got your change back, like at a coffee shop, if your coffee was, $4.63, and you gave them a $5, you got just that change, and you would put that little bit of change in the cup. But now, if it's 20%, 25%, and everybody's getting me and my friend, let me coffee and a muffin in my office. Like, if you're basing the tip off of that, now you're basing the tip off of $14, because the medium anything at Starbucks, trust me, is $7. So $14, 25% of that, and if you look at every car in line behind you and everyone that's going to come, that is a huge financial come up from just like a $3 cup of coffee, $2 black coffee. I'm sure my dad was alive. Coffee was $1.50, $2. Remember when McDonald's used to give you a free small coffee in the mornings?
I don't drink coffee, but I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, they were like doing this thing where they were just like, come in and we'll give you a free small. I think they were trying to get their McCafe going, but like, because coffee's nothing. So the fact that like now it's expensive and there's a built-in tip because they know psychologically you're not going to tell, and it's always not smoking hot, but the girl next door, attractive barista, you're not about to put zero at the end of that. You're not about to zero that tip out. Most people aren't. Some people do.
So you don't like the tip, is what you're saying. You don't tip people.
I'm just saying I think that it's more that these companies want to see your credit. That black people don't tip. I've always said black people, everybody tips people and doesn't tip certain people. I think it's more psychological. That's a whole different breakdown.
Yeah, true that. Yeah, well, traveling without money is not good. That's what I was about to tell in the last podcast or 2 podcasts ago, I forget. I was talking about when I was in Singapore by myself. This is
emphasis on poor.
Yeah. I did not. There was a moment where I had no money, $0 in Singapore, because I was sending money home that because I didn't want to spend it, and I was like, oh, I'll budget this, and I found a casino, lovely casino in Singapore, big. You can imagine, very nice. Everything's nice in Singapore. And I lost all my money. And then I have this, I don't have it on me right now, but a gold chain, a St. Christopher. You see me wear it before. That was my grandfather's. And I pawned that in Singapore. I found a pawn shop in Singapore. Pawned the necklace, went back, somehow won the money, waited through Chinese New Year, 2 days, 2 or 3 days, however long it is. Got it back about 3 hours before I had to get on a plane or whatever it was.
Is that a screenplay you're writing?
It's a terrible way to live your life. That's
called more like Sing a Rich. Yeah.
Sing a Lucky. Sing a binga boom bang bang. Can't gamble until you show your passport there. I think that's with all international casinos out. They want to get that tax money. Yeah, it sucks. Well, I'm sorry you had to go through that. I've had that self-inflicted minute. And you know what's fucked up too when you're gambling is if anything bad happens to me ever, if anything happens to me that is just a normal thing, people assume this is, and it's my fault because I've gambled all these years and I've lost people assume it's because I'm gambling. So I have this little thing I travel with. It's about this big. It's about the size of maybe a football like that. And it's by this company Nomadic. And it's a great company. I don't get any money from them. Great travel. They have like bags, backpacks, and suitcases and everything. And I own a piece of all the shit because I bought it's just really well made and really well laid out and stuff. So they have this little travel thing. It looks like a little football. And it has my headphones in it, AirPods. It'll have a couple things you would need to travel, passport thing, plugs, wires, whatever. And I just take that and I put it in the seat back of the airplane. I have left that in the back of the seat back of an airplane 5 times and then turn around in the jetway. And they're like, you're not allowed. I'm like, it's right there. And then sometimes they're nice and give it to me or I have to wait. I've left it on a seat in the Detroit airport and a security guard found it for me. I should not be traveling with this thing, but I lost it. One time I had a rental car in Austin. I was with Jim and it was under my name though. And I went to go return it because it was the air conditioner or something was fucked up. And it was all of our bags were in there. It was when he was on stage. And so did it after I got on stage. I took all of our bags and moved it. And because it's black, it was in the shadows or something. I just left it in there. And then they said, oh, we didn't find it. It's missing, but I could find my AirPods. And it just was at some apartment complex in Austin. And I was like, cool. All right, Avis, employee, thank you. I had to get a new passport and all this other shit. And
was there an Avis? You didn't track it down after that?
I don't. It was in an apartment complex. How am I going to guess where it is? It's it's just at this apartment complex.
Go knocking on doors.
Yeah, every door.
Guy answers. He's got your AirPods in. He takes them out. What's up?
Yeah. And it was in a neighborhood in Austin, which Austin's gotten a lot. It was in a neighborhood where I don't know if I'd be welcome. Let's just. It was knocking on doors. Hey, you got my. I just want my passport.
Yeah. They're come inside. We'll look together.
And then cut to, I need to get a new travel bag that's a different color. Cut to Atlantic City. I'm in Atlantic City. I'm not going to say names because I don't want to say, but I'm in Atlantic City with, I'll say Jim Jeffries, open for him. And the next day I'm driving to New York City to stay with a mutual friend of ours in New York City. And I asked the bellhop to get on my bags. I was gone on the road for 10 days. So I had an actual suitcase, backpack, whatever. And it was a mile to get through the stuff. And I was like, yeah, just come get my stuff. And I put that little black bag on top of one of the bags. And they counted the bags. I think it was four. And I went to go meet him at the car. And when I got to the car, it wasn't there. And I go, where's this thing? It was about 45 minutes because I went to get something to eat. And I go, where's that other little bag? I don't remember that little bag. What bag? And then it must have fallen off the cart, whatever. It's nowhere to be found. That's got my wallet. It's got all my shit in it and stuff. And I was hours delayed getting to my friend's house in New York City who I'm staying with. And then when I got there, I was like, I don't have any cash. All I have is this check. I have a check. I have a check and that I got paid with for the gigs last night or the last 2 nights. And I had a driver's license. And nobody believed me. Everyone thought I had gambled all the money because I was at a casino. And I didn't gamble. I mean, I do this podcast. I've been talking about when I've gambled, how shit I just told you I pawned a fucking necklace in Singapore because I had no money.
Yeah.
But it's the situation, and I got really upset with that person, and we were fighting the whole time I was there. to the point where I haven't talked to them since then.
Really?
And I was thinking about that today, and I was like, I think that they were wrong in some regards, especially for not like hearing out and that was a part of what we were arguing about. I think they're wrong in that regards. But in the end, I was thinking about this a couple of days ago, and I reached out to them. They haven't reached back yet, and I was like, you know what? In the end, it's still because of my behavior in my life. You know what I'm saying? So even though I'm saying there's some blame to be put there in that immediate situation, that situation wouldn't have occurred if I wasn't who I am, you know? And I think about it in GA and stuff like that, or like just being this. And I was like, oh, if people, should you trust me? I'm like, yeah, probably not. I mean, I get that. I mean, I'm a nice person. I don't mean ill will, but I get that. So now I've switched it back, and I was like, you know what? That's still probably my fault. I don't know if I'm being too hard on myself, but.
Well, no, I mean, you actually gave me that exact same speech years ago. I don't know if like you thought about it since then, but it's something I've thought about a lot. It was like, it was when I had stopped drinking, but I was probably like a year and a half in maybe. And like something with my ex-wife, and like, she was like, I'm uncomfortable with you, like, doing something. And I was just like,
Yeah.
I'm sober, my shit's together. I'm on a #1 talk show with, but you were like, dude, like your body of work. And it wasn't like I was ever an abuser or anything like that, but just a person that couldn't be trusted. I mean, I got drunk a lot, and like, I don't know I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, no,
but what you said, it makes sense.
I'm not good at taking my own advice, is what you're saying.
Yeah. I mean, but it's like, the second half of your thought is like, I don't know if they needed to go that hard. And it's kind of like how I was. It's like, it's a very weird thing that we ask people to do, because I go, Forrest, you're my friend, you're fucked up, you need to change. And you think about it, and you're like, you do the hardest thing that there is, that I would say 97% of human beings, because of the way that they're wired, are totally incapable of doing, which is being able to be introspective and be like, to take in advice and be like, damn, you know what? He's right. I'm wrong in this situation. I need to fix my behavior. Then you go about the process of fixing that behavior. You don't ask for money or just send money as you run a 5K. You do the actual hard work of fixing your behavior to the best of your ability. I never drank again after December 2019. So it's like, at some point you do get tired a little bit of just like apologizing for you, because you're like, give me your phone. I could run through 20 people in your phone that currently ain't shit.
Yeah.
That I remember you telling me stories about this person, and it's like, you still talk to them. I would go as far as say I've been a fucking choir boy for 7 years. And so like, I really don't want to hear it. Like, I did the work, I fixed it. I'm not saying like you can't still have reservations, but I guarantee you, and that's the other thing that we never talk about, is like, I don't even think I could sound cocky at this point. I'm at my girlfriend's house on the couch, but like, our opportunities to fuck up on a night-to-night basis are wildly more. That opportunity is so much more present in our life. Like, you and your fucking middling husband, who works at some company. Yeah, he might look at the new intern's ass at the company party, but he can't mess up that much unless it involves a hooker. Yeah. We have people that approaches. We are around strangers on a nightly basis who we've just entertained. We work at a bar. We are so skilled at talking to people that it's our only job. And we go home at night. And we don't have to, but we do, because we know what that other side of that coin looks like. And the other side of that coin, for a little while, is a lot of fun. So it's like, it's weird that we don't get the benefit of the doubt. It's like, well, Danny over here has never messed up. He mows the lawn at a high school football field.
Yeah, but but still, I agree with what you're saying too. But I also
understand, no shade, but like, it's harder to go home being a DJ at a strip club than not being that. I'm not saying that that's not a job you've chosen, but it's just like, it's interesting that like we're held to a higher standard. And I'm like, do you know what like I haven't done? Do you know what I know would have happened if I'd stayed one more hour? Like this, it's just weird.
You don't get credit for that. You never
But
get
we
credit.
should.
You're like,
But we
I could have
should.
cheated. But
No, not even cheated, but just wasted money, made a bad decision. It's just like, I don't know. It's just very like, yeah, that's what you should have done.
I agree with you, but there are certain people in your life, and by yours, I mean anybody's, that are different. You know what I'm saying? Like when you were drinking, I would say, and doing things you were doing, there are certain times I could have told you like, hey, this happened one time when we were out. That like, but there's not a lot I can draw on because it didn't really you're when you were using and drinking whatever, it didn't affect my life greatly. I'm sure I could find stuff where I'm like, oh yeah, or you didn't get back to me or something. But if you look at your ex-wife, there's a lot more things there.
Yeah.
And
absolutely, so I was not a great husband. Yeah,
that's where I think there's a difference where you can say that person still, it might be 10 years gone, you might be 10 years sober, and they're still like, hey, I respect what you're doing. I care about you still, whatever, but I'm still not all the way where you're at. And that's fair.
Yeah.
Because
that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah. But then there's other people where you're like, fuck you. Like, I didn't do anything to you. I just met you. Like,
yeah, I hooked you up.
Let me do something bad to you first before you get mad at me.
Yeah. And then like, but when you talk to these people, they're like, yeah, my brother-in-law stole 40 grand from me and my wife. And it's like a week later, yeah, my wife's making us go to Thanksgiving over there. I'm like, that, like, you're still breaking bread with that dude? And like, what, you're mad at me about nothing? About me losing my wallet at a hotel? I just feel like there's a vulnerability that is taken advantage of by people that can't let out whatever anger they have on the necessary source. So you become, by admitting your faults, you then become that vulnerable target. And because it's always sitting right there. Because if you, it's the same way, like with Trump, he just can say anything, call somebody fat or cheat or get a new jet. But like calling him deplorable or whatever, like it doesn't mean anything. So like,
no.
We end up like yelling at Joe Biden-ates for not telling us he had dementia. It's like, what do you think this 24-year-old moron was going to do? Like they didn't have any power, but it's easier to yell at them and it's like, I saw this old clip of when Tiger Woods cheated on his wife. Do you remember he had to give a press conference?
Yeah.
And he like, there's all these like old white golfers that all cheat on their wives. All of them, dude, I'm sure.
I had friends that are, and I'm way in the golf world now, but at the time I wasn't as well, I work a lot in the golf world, but I had friends that were big golfers that they said, well, he's not going to be the greatest ever now because, there's the thing about golf, it's a gentleman's game and ethics and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay. I was like, yeah. The most despicable conversations I've heard are in the 19th hole of a country club, like,
yeah, it's exactly. Like, it's ridiculous, but it's just like, there's a part of, I mean, this Brett Favre documentary just came out, and there's a part of being unapologetically horrible where he just never answered. Like whoever told Tiger Woods, this looks bad, you need to answer to it. And I don't think people realize, because people still had shame when that thing went down. That was still a concept in our culture. But now, like, I think his PR people would be like, lie, and deny. There's no, like, Brett Favre is really a trailblazer in that. He just sending shriveled up dick pics, whatevs. I'm going to go steal from these people from Mississippi. All right, then I'm going to text, should I do this? Because we're going to get caught stealing the money from these poor kids. And no one's going to jail.
Don't forget
he's in the Hall of Fame.
Concussion.
Nothing happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what I'm saying is be a dick, kids, because being a good person is a sham.
I mean, you look back at the Watergate scandal now and you're like, what? Why did he resign? Are you kidding me? Like,
Yeah.
and you're like, that is so cute that he would resign after that. After some people that I would just be like, I don't know who those people are. That's all you do today. You'd be like, I don't know who those people are. They say they know me. Oh yeah, I think I saw him at a cocktail function one time.
Dude, Matt Gaetz was like on a non-private Venmo.
Yeah.
Like putting 4 books, tee hee hee, to these tiny prostitutes, and like nothing happened.
Yeah, nothing. Yeah.
Be a bad person. It's way easier.
Yeah, that's the theme of this podcast. Be a bad person.
Yeah.
Do you so like when you're well, I lie a lot. I lied a lot when I was gambling. Because you have to. I had to like to cover up shit or just to get by or do whatever and stuff. And now I find that I don't want to lie. I do lying. This is my question. Everybody lies, I think, at some point, right? You think there's anybody that doesn't lie, first of all, at all? Like even a white lie, I'm saying, a little white lie.
Yeah, I mean, I would argue that no. I would think some people, because some lies are necessary for the function of society, and just like everything doesn't, because when you tell the truth, sometimes it then demands a referendum on whatever you're talking about. And if it's not that serious, like you're just like, if you and I went to a water park and, my kids were excited, I was excited to go, and you went along with us and you were like, oh God, I don't want to be out here as kids. I hate laying on this lawn chair. And my son goes, Uncle Forrest, did you have a good time? You better lie. What are you going to do? Because I had to keep it real with Elijah. Like, no, you didn't, And so like, there's a point when like you're expected to lie, but I just think I don't lie by nature anymore.
Yeah.
Just because the amount of work that it takes to keep up a lie is something that I am not signing up for. And like, you realize, like, looking back on like when you were doing shady shit, if somebody goes like, where were you last night? And like, I was at Forrest because it hurt his knee. Like, you just think you can say that and then that just stays there. But then like 2 weeks later, when we see you, hey, why isn't your knee hurt? And you look at me like, what the, and then you got to now, it's just like it's this whole thing. And when you start trying to lie to women that are intuitive, like it's just, and their girlfriends are all like, all right, dog, you believe in the knee store. Like, it's not worth whatever you're doing. So if you're going to do whatever lie that you had to tell about the injured knee, it's better to just come with it. It's better to just come with it. And even go like, I went to the strip club because I was mad that you went to your high school reunion with that guy. Even if that's not really it, you got to come with something. But at least there's some truth to it. So you're at least trying to couch your shitty truth. I would rather couch a shitty truth than put up a good lie, if that makes any sense.
Is it called a white lie? Because is there some racial thing there? I never even thought about it.
Oh, absolutely.
White person, you think?
Yeah, I mean, a black lie. That must be the worst of all lies. I mean, a black mark on your everything is that's something else that we as a culture just can't get past, it because we've never addressed like our horrendous past, which if we can't, like it spills into everything else, because even now, like, the movie Sinners is big at the box office, but I'm looking at that as a horror movie. And it's like, even after Michael B. Jordan and them get past whatever monsters, they're still dealing with Jim Crow. Like, it still sucks. And it's I can't. Yeah.
According to Columbia Journalism Review, it is not racial, though.
What? Oh, well.
it says is white lie is one meant to protect someone's feelings. Traces it to a 14th century letter. I do assure you, he is unsuspected of any untruth or order notable crime except a white lie, and it's spelled Y-E, like, which is taken from a small fart in these party. Like, okay, that's all. It just gets cut off there. Fuck off. I mean, I gave you no information there.
No, the best thing to do is just start reading without knowing where the sentence is going. I feel like that's great.
Okay, I don't. You know what? I'm not gonna lie. I'll tell you exactly what happened. I was reading it, and then the paywall popped up as I was reading it, and I couldn't read anymore.
Oh yeah.
I don't have a subscription to Reader's Digest.
If you'd like to continue this article, you're like, I got the gist. I got the guy's name. Yeah. They always get you. Forrest Shaw has been accused of 3 counts of, if you like to get nuts, got it. He did it.
Yeah, it says he is not suspected of untruthfulness or other notable crime except for a white lie, which is considered a small fault.
Is untruthfulness a word?
Oh, well, it was in the 14th century, and
they also didn't have soap back then, so I don't
have lie. Boom. White lives matter.
What's
the better joke here? Is it white lives matter? Like we're saying, hey, like those matter too, but they don't. We just said that they don't at the water park and their son, or black lives matter.
Are you saying that black lives don't matter either for us? Because that's what it sounds like. That's where it sounds like you're going.
I already said all lives matter. All right, getting canceled.
Why do you think that became a thing?
Which part?
Like that all lives matter. Like people couldn't even just be like, yeah, that sucked.
Because I don't think it was people misunderstanding. I think it's like everything nowadays. There's propaganda associated with it. So I think that they were told, like, that this movement is black people rioting and being violent and all this, it's because they.
Well, that's what I was told.
No, because they think they're more important than us. When in fact it was like peaceful protests. Obviously, you could find somebody that was violent or quote unquote riot. You know what I'm saying? They could find but the most part, from what I understood it, and what friends that went to protesting, like it was peaceful stuff, But the narrative was changed, and so they were like, oh yeah, well, that's you think your life's more important than mine? That's what it is. In the DEI shit, it's all fucking linked together. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
it's all in the same boat. Shit where it's like, why does a black person get a leg up? And it's like, they're not getting a leg up, just trying to be equal.
Yeah,
and that's all it is. Like, we just want to be equal. It's like gays want all the rights. No, they just want to be able to get married. And they want to be not like fucking, beat up because they have sex differently than you do.
Yeah.
So I think that's what it is, but I don't know.
I don't think that you could ever convince people. I just think it's always going to be a hard sell because it's a universal message. So I think that there are people that have lives that they've at least been able to examine and be like, yeah, I did have some privilege. My dad did play golf with the guy that got me my first job at this company. This probably was an advantage. I think but that's very few and far between. I think most people have had to fight for their whole lives to get what they've gotten. And, they don't compare that to other black people. They're just like, I didn't have it any better than anybody else did, because they have no comparison. And so like that was always going to be a tough sell for some people.
Yeah, I also think I think it stems from people that don't have anybody in their life that's black that is of significance too. Because
I think that's a problem too. And I think the internet's made it so that that's even easier to just like connect with people. Because I don't think a lot of people think I don't have any black friends. They're just like, this is my friend Mark, this is my friend Jared. Like, they don't think like I don't have. They're just like, these are people I went to high school with.
Yeah, but and I'm not saying I've got thousands of black friends. I don't even have thousands of friends. But every friend that I have that's black has numerous multiple stories that of things that happened to them that would never happen to them if they were white. Like, and I personally know them and heard, because I've been in similar situations, you know?
Yeah.
Again, I'm not going to say names, but growing up, me and 3 of my other friends were fucking around. We were doing stupid shit. We're bored. We might have tossed a few eggs, like fucked around in some parking lots, like shit. We didn't do anything like terrible, but we're up to no good, teenage no good kind of shit, you know?
Yeah.
3 of us are white, 1 of them's black. And the police came by, like caught us, like, you know, just fucking around and shit. And they said, hey, we got to report that, you know, you guys were like doing shit in this parking lot, whatever. And they separated us, 3 of us that were white and the 1 guy that was black. And they told my friend that's black, he said, your other 3 friends are selling you out right now. So you better own up to this shit right now. Like, literally giving them the fucking press. And meanwhile, we were like, they didn't say shit to us. And all they did was just feed him this bullshit narrative so that he would admit to something so they could arrest him. And they weren't fucking with us.
Did he admit to anything?
No. And then nothing happened. That same friend, I could tell you about 25 fucking stories. And because I grew up with him, you know, and
yeah,
where I'm like, oh, that never happened to me. Just coming to our neighborhood, my friend coming to my other friend's neighborhood, another white person, and he's coming across the highway from a neighborhood that's predominantly black, and literally us as 12-year-olds seeing cops stop him and put him up against the car. What are you doing in this neighborhood? And we had to go over there as 12-year-olds and be like, get the fuck out of here. He's coming to our house. He's our friend.
Yeah.
That never happened to me. You know what I'm saying? So
there's still time.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, so I think that's a big part of it with when people are like, oh yeah, I think it's the same.
Let me shut this shade. It's like Jesus is coming into my life. Hold on.
Yeah, it's just when people say it's the same. Anyways, you don't have to be on there. I'm just finishing a thought. It's not. It's not. And that's
not,
where we're going.
That's
where we're trying to get.
Don't know anybody. It's you know, your narrative about what this world is. It's hard to deconstruct that for people. They think like the world is like that Plato's cave thing. It's just like whatever those shadows look like to you is what the world is. But most people have not been out in the world, haven't had like a real conversation. And the people that, if they do know people that are minorities, they're more just like, oh, he's a normal guy, but they haven't had like conversations to like really be like, yo, yeah, some shit goes down. You know, it's just like they don't want to hear it. And I think if anything has been heard, it's that. And I at least respect it. I'm like, they don't want to hear it. I stop with the whole like, we need to all talk.
I don't know some of your stories too. I mean, I know, you know, I don't even know everything, but yeah, it's the same. By the way, you look like you're going to heaven now.
I know. I just said the light just came in out of nowhere. I don't know what the F. Hold on.
License and registration.
It really is. Gigantic cop out here.
You had mentioned, and I cut you off way at the beginning, about your daughter graduating.
Yes. Breezy is graduating, going to college in the Northeast. So very excited about that. 1 kid down, and just really proud of her and shocked that is my daughter. She's just so put together. This generation of kids is so put together, man. They're so put together, man.
I can't believe that she's going to college. I can't. When you told me that, I was like, what the heck? Like,
it's insane.
Yeah, I have another friend I have my other friend whose son just got drafted in the NFL 2nd round.
Yeah.
I saw that. I remember when he was born. Yeah, Jaden Higgins, if you guys are looking out there, is going to be playing for the Houston Texans. Put him on your fantasy team. Crazy. I remember when he was just a little tiny kid. It's like going on these canoe trips and stuff. It's insane. Time is insane. But I bring up the thing with your daughter because you just went to her graduation, and I don't know, but I'm positive that the last, almost 6 years of your life, you've been more present there for her because you've been who you are after drinking, stuff like that. And I'm sure that crossed your mind as you were there at the graduation and stuff. You know?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of shame, like, when you're drinking, you don't want to be around your kid, but also just, like, I realized that I was drinking a lot because I missed her. So, I realized it was kinda like um, this horrible figure eight that was going on, so I had to break that cycle and just, come to terms with just the fact that not everything starts perfectly, but it can end beautifully, you know? And not sticking to because your kids don't care. All the shit you're carrying around about, like, they just want you there. And once you understand that, like everything else is so much easier, dog. So much
Yeah.
easier. That's why I'm like always just chill. I'm like, my kids are good. I'm good.
Yeah. You got good kids too. So
I knocked them out of the park.
it's gotta suck if you have bad kids, huh? They're out
I
there.
think some people don't like their kids. If somebody used to go to the park with his kids all the time, you could see parents that were just like, you could just see like when their kid was just being a little shit on the playground, and you could just see the parents like, how did this happen? Like they were like cool LA parents, and they were just like, we gave this kid a Ramones T-shirt. Dad is cool. Mom, she stays like why? Some people
Don't you think it's
sometimes
the parents?
I think they're just personality types, and I think that have you ever met
But
two people that were raised by the same parents and couldn't be more different? Like some people are just selfish, dude. Some people
maybe, but
are.
okay.
I truly believe
I've
it.
just in LA. I'll just start in LA with my friends that have kids. Um, uh, your kids, Dave Williamson's kids, John Wynn's daughter, Jim Jeffries' kids. Um, that's all. I mean, those are like every single one of those kids are good kids. Like they're all different personality types. Some are more athletic than the others, or that strengths, weaknesses. But like they're all like, and I don't say that just because they're my friends, and I see like they're good kids. But also then I look at myself, I'm like, well, I probably am not hanging out with assholes too. That's part of it. It's like I have a type of friend that I like that. You know what I'm saying? And so I think
Yeah.
parenting has a lot to do with that too. Because it's a big part of it. And then I go back to Miami. I'll start naming kids again. Like everybody, like all my friends that have kids, they're good kids. I haven't. My buddy James Waugh, James,
Of course.
works for Lucasfilms. I had not seen his kid since he was like, I don't even know when. Like he was tiny, and I stayed at his house just for one night up in San Francisco on a couple months ago, and James was coming back from work about an hour after I got there, and his kid was there. So his kid was there to meet me, and dude, he was the coolest kid I've ever like you said, at it like I think he's 12. He has his shit together way more than I did. Clearly, he answered the
Yeah.
door and he's like, "Hi, I'm James's son." I'm like, "Yeah, no, I got it."
Yeah.
but he was doing his homework. Nobody else was there, not an adult. He was practicing like I want to say the cello or the clarinet. I forget what instrument he was playing. Doing his homework. I was like, "What the fuck? This is the best kid I've ever seen." And he was like a real like smart like kind of, and it's like so. I really think there are different personality types, but I think in the end it's a parenting thing, and that's
Yeah.
my hot take. As a guy that has no kids, that is my hot take.
Well, I mean,
Or I
you do
just
have
have
an
good.
objective perspective because you're not comparing your kids to our kids, so you have a really unique perspective.
Yeah, and I'm happy too because like if I had a friend that had one of those and I know some of this is the thing through those kids of my friends, I've seen kids that I'm like fuck that kid. Like I've gone, like
Yeah.
like I've seen them at parties of these kids where I'm like, and they have to invite him because you're of a certain age where you're inviting your class, and then there's just one terror, you know. I'm not gonna name
Yeah.
any names. I don't want to throw any kids under the bus because they're really young. But I've seen some terrible kids, like, and I'm just like, wow, that's got to suck if you're the parent. And then I meet the parent, and I kind of get it. I'm like, yeah, I don't think you're as involved as you should be in this. But
Yeah.
it's just a theory. It's a theory of mine. I don't know. Can't prove it. But anyways, I wanted you to bring that up because I think that's awesome that she graduated and she's going to college. And
Dude, we did it, man. I'm proud of her, man.
Yeah. Um, how old is Elijah now?
16. Isn't that
Time.
insane?
Yeah. Time marches on, buddy. I look at kids must. What do you think kids like? Like not your kid, but if like a 16-year-old sees you or me like just in a store, do you think they're just like, that's a really old person that has nothing to offer me? Like this, do you think that's?
I don't think that I don't even think they see us really.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I don't think that they even. That's the weird thing.
Yeah.
It's just like unless you've got like something. I don't think that they're. I used to be in awe of adults just because I think that the world was a lot less accessible to kids when we were younger. Like you needed an adult to rent you a car, or rent you a hotel, or get health insurance. And now, like kids are like, I'll just get my own money and I can do it. I can get my own cell phone. Like there's not this like the line between having things and not having things is not 95% what your parents allow you to have. So I think that the lines of demarcation are a lot different in terms of like how that relationship is, you know? There's a
Yeah.
respect thing and a love, but like they don't it's almost the way like the people looked at God in the first testament where God was like fire and brimstone and could destroy your whole world. Like, what do you think you were doing when you put your kid on punishment for a whole summer? Like in
Yeah.
1999, that was like
Mm.
that was like
No
it
iPad.
was like solitary it was like horrible.
Yeah.
And now people be like, "Oh, my dad said I can't. I don't want to go out anyway. I don't want to text my girlfriend, FaceTime her." Like they just
Yeah.
don't. It's a different thing, and so like I don't think that
Yeah.
they look at us with as much power, but also like as much. They look to
Yeah.
us for guidance with stuff that they can't understand,
Yeah.
but understanding we're flawed too. And I think they could be like, "That's my dad. I don't really like his thoughts on Gaza, but he's a good guy." I think a kid could say that now and would have some understanding of what they were saying. Like I didn't know what Gaza was or what you know a president, even an impeachment. Like I mean, I got that, but like I didn't know what the attorney general did or like why it was like I didn't understand like the crisis that I was so removed from the real world
Yeah.
that I didn't. I mean, if I didn't. I would almost make it a point not to watch the news. I was like, it's a boring old white dude talking slowly. Like I would never watch the news on purpose. And I think our kids not only watch it, but they engage with it, and that's the difference. They're just more worldly than we are.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Let's hope there's hope then. But all right,
Yeah.
man. Let's wrap it up. Yeah. I don't remember any of your handles. Al Jackson.
At Al Jackson IG on Instagram.
Oh, that's right. Because you have a joke about that thing that happened
Yeah.
to you in the radio station.
Yeah.
Al Jackson IG. You have to say it like that. Al
Yes.
Jackson IG. That's at Instagram and what else?
Just Instagram's fine. That's where
Oh,
the
you
only
got
place
Instagram.
you can.
What's
Yeah.
your website? Do you put your tour dates up there and stuff?
I put
You
my
going
tour
to?
dates really like I'm kind of combining everything into one, so I'm in a state of transition. But I want to have just an Al Jackson live that's got my music and there's just so many things that I want to do that I can't do.
By the
So
way,
I don't.
I randomly or coincidentally talked to a friend today that is coming off getting clean. He was not sober, um, and this carrot. What is it called? I'm gonna fucking fuck up the name.
Keratin.
Yeah, you know about this?
Yeah, that synthetic
Kratom.
weed. Yeah, I don't know
Kratom.
what it is. I don't know. I think it's not
Bro,
great.
I just found out about it today, dude. I just found out it's apparently a fucking thing that's happening. That's like I'm trying to find someone to get on this podcast to talk about it. There's a couple people that have done podcasts, but Kratom, and it's like you can look it up, and then once you start on that, you go into this next thing that's called 7-OH pills, which is like synthetic, basically meth, not methadone. What's the thing you would fucking morphine? Then there's this feel
Jesus Christ.
steady tonic. It's a fucking crazy. But anyways, I was talking to him and I said, I hadn't talked to him in a while, and I told him, reach out to him whenever. I said I have this podcast about addiction now, And so I sent him the first one, which is you. And he's really into music. And he just sent me back a screenshot of I may unblock you. So I think that means he liked it. So I think you got a new fan. At least he downloaded some for you. So a couple pennies are coming your way, dude. Don't worry about it.
There it is.
But go find I May Unblock You. That's Al's original music. It's good. I said it last podcast. I was very, very scared to listen to it. It ended up being good. I was like, all right, good.
I got some new stuff I'm going to send you.
I didn't want to have to white lie it. Like, yeah, you know, it was funky.
If you turn it down, it's got a nice bass line.
Yeah, there was a couple little riffs I liked. So, yes, I mean, send me the new shit. I love to see it. So go listen to Al's music. Go find him on Instagram and support him. He's got podcasts. Listen to those. I don't even know. Don't you? I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm fucking bad at this. Yeah. You could promote him now. I was just saying it.
Oh, yeah. Go to my one podcast. My safe word is more. We're doing our last episode. I think maybe we've already done it, but you can listen to Daytime Talk After Dark. That's the new one coming out.
Okay, there you go. Where do you find that?
You can YouTube on everything. It'll be on all my handles, on my bio, all that good stuff.
By the way, Daytime After Dark Talk sounds like a Hugh Hefner show.
Yeah, it does.
Sounds like there's women in lingerie hanging around a piano, and it's like, "What's up? Thanks for joining us."
So. Yeah, here's a bunny tip for when you have a prolapsed asshole. It's you're gonna have to delete that, but yeah.
I do have to delete that. Okay.
All right, I don't know. You can keep. All right, man. Yo, I love you, man. I'll send you that music.
Don't log off yet. All right, that's it. I should have specified the reason I was going so fast, or said, is because the longer I take, the longer it takes to upload with this crappy internet. Even that little intro took, I don't know, 15 minutes. Anyways, you know the drill. Suicide and Crisis Hotlines, 988, Canada 988, United Kingdom 0800 689 5652. I don't have time to read Germany's. Go fuck yourself. Go to the Wikipedia page, list of suicide crisis lines. Call the phone number 305-563-7264, 305-JOE-RANG, +1 area code. And thanks to Al for being here. It's a little off the rails, that conversation, but still, I thought we brought it together, and I thought there was some good stuff in there, and I appreciate him being on again. He'll probably be on other times too, just because I'm good friends with Al. But unless you guys don't want, join the conversation. You want to talk some shit? Nah, everyone's cool.